1340. Whoa. 1340 Las Vegas. She can hear you up that alley. Come on.
My name is Tillar Murray. I'm 21 years old. This year, my 18-year-old gelding, Little Gracie's Dude, more commonly known as Tic Tac, allowed me to go to the Wrangler National Finals rodeo. I am a student at the University of Texas in Austin and am currently rodeoing basically full-time. I don't think any of my friends quite understand when I say that I feel like I have a full-time job on the side of school. We have about 100 rodeos a year that most of us go to, and trying to fit in school with all of that makes life really complicated. So it is definitely a week-by-week process, and I just try to make the most of every week and do the best I can. The first time I rode a horse was at my grandparents' ranch. So I was a city girl. I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I remember being really scared as a kid of horses because I got on one horse and it took off towards the barn. And I landed in some side of a pond and it was miserable. And I remember being terrified of horses after that. Then when we moved to Fort Worth a few years later and we bought this ranch in Lipan and I had my own horse for the first time, I really started to gain confidence and started to love riding again. I knew very little about horses when I was looking for Tic Tac and was not about to go try out a horse by myself. I thought that would be a disaster. So my parents told me that I could get one horse and this was going to be my barrel horse for high school rodeos. I was in middle school at the time, so I needed a horse for about 6 years. I was entering 7th grade. We ended up buying him. We were sitting there, I remember right after I had bought him, and I said, "No, Ed, I'm kind of worried because this horse is 9 and I need a horse to last 6 years and I just don't know if he's gonna last." And Ed said, "Well, if you take really good care of him, he won't start slowing down before he's 13. Looking back, it's kind of funny because I never would have imagined that he would have taken me this far.
And there was one yet to go for us right here at the Golden Nugget Las Vegas Barrel Race. Tillar Murray, Fort Worth, Texas.
When I first bought him, I asked Ed and Martha Wright a million questions, as I do now, and I said, what is the best thing I can do to feed him? And Ed told me to start him on Myristol because he said it's the best joint maintenance around, and if I wanted him to last until 13, I better have him on some joint supplement. So I started him on Myristol, and I'm really grateful I did because now he is 18 years old and he's in the best condition he has been for the past 10 years I've had him. I never would have thought that 10 years later he'd still be running.